Here we go. Here we go. I believe we are live. Welcome everybody to another Break the Rules BTR coming all at the way you live, all the way live. Welcome everybody. I am Lev Polyakov, your gracious humble host. Noodleheads was asking, no, Radion Rashunklov was asking, why'd the last Lev stream go private? I'll tell you why, because of OPSEC. If there are certain naughty words that get uttered by people we know and love and cherish, we want to make sure they keep
a certain special K word that was by someone who is a member of the tribe, but I don't know, YouTube, not that YouTube has some racial profiling type of face physiognomy camera, but
we all love special K, but sometimes there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah. There is indeed. And this brings us to Black.com Pilled.
Oh yeah,
welcome,
you forgot to introduce me, Lev. And
always. Giovanni, look, I'm an asshole. Giovanni Panichetti.
Got distracted.
Yes, I was distracted by that beautiful, handsome face and that beautiful crown of a. Well, I was talking about you, Gio. Actually, I was talking about you, but I am also talking about Black.com Pilled wearing the beautiful crown, the African crown.
It gets me every time.
Yeah, it was it was an inspired moment for sure. I would think I was high or something.
By the way, first things first, we have a super chat from Super Iron Bob. He had a $20 one before that, which apparently I lost within the chat fray here. I don't know if you have it here, Gio, but yeah, $2 right after that he says, circles are dangerous. Circles are dangerous.
But before that, he had a $20 one. Mm-hmm. Remember, all you good little boys and girls, don't go too hard. Don't glow too hard today. So yes, we will.
Yes, you guys have to have respect for how long it takes to edit these YouTube things. You have to go into the YouTube editor, then you have to wait until the YouTube editor loads, and then you can actually go about editing something.
So please, no gamer words. But we don't censor the chat. That's our policy, except for gamer words and things of that nature. But yeah, we. Oh boy,
that's suppression.
Yeah, I know. We have nothing to lose but our chains, obviously. But so we have Black.com Pilled. You've been around for quite a while. Of course, the amazing podcast, the Fedpost, which I try to listen to all the time.
Hey, thanks, man.
I recently listened to the bunch of recent ones, but the one I just got finished was the one with Twink Revolt, and I'm gunning my way through the Leah Macau stream, which is quite insightful. You have more of a I want to say Apple podcast presence, and then you like re-upload to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. It's primarily like Spotify, Apple, because we go through Anchor, so that's the main plug. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. And it makes sense. I mean, if you're recording it beforehand, and then I'm assuming you record beforehand, and then you Yeah,
we have like a week delay, and then it goes on Patreon for like a week early release, and then it comes out public. So you guys are always primarily YouTube, right? Like, is the stream the primary?
No, not just YouTube. And this is going to be another shilling moment. We are simultaneously streaming this on,
but it is all live. Yes,
on Twitch. And on Facebook, if you can believe it, we have a Facebook page. Break the Rules is a Facebook page.
Yeah, Twitch, Odyssey, Facebook.
Odyssey.
D-Live. We never mentioned D-Live.
We never mentioned D-Live, and we should. D-Live is great. In fact, we got a follower from D-Live just this moment. But Fedpost, what is your strategy when it comes to taking on and taking over the internet intellectual sphere? And why did you start to do this in the first place? What inspired you to put the crown on? I know that people say it's not a crown, it's a kufi, but whatever. What inspired you to put it on?
Hey, we're all kings. Yeah. We're all kings,
Exactly.
There was just that ironic thing going around like last summer of like white hoteps or whatever. So to me, it was just a funny thing. And it's always like a funny intersection between like Wignats and like black nationalists, black separatists that I feel like there's a lot of like, we've all seen that photo of like those Nazis at that Nation of Islam assembly meeting.
Yeah, George Lincoln Rockwell, and yeah.
That's real intersectionality. That's what we're going for.
They gave us a standing ovation at the time. It is funny. Where do you because you're pretty much not against, but you're pretty skeptical of any sort of either like black nationalism or like obviously like white nationalism, but rather you're more from what you take, all of these issues are more related to, I would say, a sort of class analysis, more of a traditional sort of economic view of it rather than something explicitly to do with like race or ethnos. I mean, but yet you have a lot of tolerance for like black, like, you know, the Hoteps and the Wignats, if you will.
Shout out to Hotep Sophia, by the way.
Yeah. I understand why they think that way. I think I'm pretty sympathetic to it. There was a time where I hated white people, and I was like, sort of just, hey, what up, James?
Oh, fuck, I forgot my mic.
Speaking of white people I hate. speaking of the whites that I hate. That's James.
I'd rather get my actual mic.
That's all good. And get pants too.
Well, he took a shower last time he was on, so that was...
And rescue that mouse. James didn't kill the mouse. There was a mouse that he caught. He didn't kill it. He put it in the mouse trap and he put it in the garbage pail. Now, for me, that would be a little bit karmically insensitive. I don't know, but where do you stand on that? If you had a mouse,
you're lucky I'm wearing a shirt.
God.
Hold on.
Oh man. And everybody subscribe right now. All the people who are watching this who are fans of the Fedpost, subscribe. And by the way, this is also kind of a Fedpost because I've been fed. I ate a lot of food today after I worked out, after I lifted weights. I know I'm a skinny motherfucker, but I'm growing. This is slowly becoming bigger. You could see the definition.
All right, Lev, shut up. Does it sound better?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool.
Amazing.
Welcome, James Healy of Women Posting Their L's, the king, the champion. Welcome, my friend.
Of online misogyny.
Of online misogyny,
right.
Exactly. And Black Compilled, where do you stand on misogyny? We've talked about
we
where
have
you
to
stand on
first
the other things. I want to know about misogyny. I know we have an order. Fuck it. There is no order anymore. He only has an hour here, so I want to know.
Oh,
only an hour.
Okay.
Only an hour. Only an hour.
Okay.
So, James, you're going to have to take over afterwards. The pressure is on.
God damn.
What the fuck?
Guess it was only 10 minutes.
Yeah, the hour is over. Everybody, give a warm round of applause for Black Compilled. Thank you so much for coming in. James, how's everything going in the world of women posting their L's? What's up?
Bro, I was literally a fucking celebrity in Miami.
Tell us all about it.
Dude, well, I'm dropping the episode tonight. MK Ultra Money podcast. Subscribe to it, motherfuckers. I'm dropping the episode tonight. I'm literally editing it right after this episode. But I went full 90 minutes detailing the entire trip I had in Miami, including being a celebrity, saw his Chad, partying with multimillionaires, and it was fucking wild. I finally checked my bank account today after having not checked it since before Miami, and I somehow had $1,500 more than I figured I spent. So huge dub when I checked my bank.
Did you catch the delicacy?
No, I already had it. I'm built different.
Same, yeah. So I could have I couldn't have gone because I live in an oppressive totalitarian state up in the north. But so Black Compilled, first finish your thought on the Wignats and then online misogyny. Yes. My God.
And people need those super chats. Keep those super chats coming. Sneed away.
Yeah, I mean, I think basically I understand the Wignat and the like black nationalist perspective. There was a time where I only thought in terms of identity, and I hated white people too. So like, you know, to me, and you know, I still do.
White person.
I was a self-hating white person. I was self-loathing. You guys understand that, but yeah, I think I understand that the thing that drives that thinking is usually outside external material pressures that sort of push you into thinking that there's some you know, cabal that just wants you dead because of your race or whatever, as opposed to something, you know, more simple, that they just want money and power, and you're just, you know, an obstacle to that, which is what I believe. So that's sort of that, and the whole like white hotep like that thing is just an ironic thing. It's just an ironic element of that we sort of say the opposite of that. Oh, yeah. Damn. I hate for you to find out like this.
No, killing myself on BTR now.
Oh, no. But when it comes to having this new worldview that you have, when you look back at the old one, do you still sort of like resonate with that, or like wish like, oh, what if I go back in the past and act like that? You know, like, is there a comfort in believing what you believed before versus now? Would you say it's a lot like more nuanced now, or harder now?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I think back then it was just a lot simpler because it was just like, all right, there's just a bunch of racist hicks, white dudes in the South that are just like keeping me from living well and keeping people I know from living well. And that's pretty much the end of the story. You don't really have to think more than that. And I think it's, the same mirror thing. If you were a Wignat, they just want the minorities to survive and put you in a FEMA camp. And it's pretty much, I mean, it's a very simple story. I mean, there's not, who doesn't like that? Everybody likes to be victimized. So,
well, you had a great tweet today. You said most people are underclass, but a lot of ideology today is convince you that you're above your fellow man mentally, morally. Therefore, all idea that poor people deserve poverty is still consensus. You just rather think of yourself as a temporarily embarrassed underclass. It is kind of weird how we convince ourselves of this pastiche of being the underclass, or like you talked about this with Aura McIntyre, our good friend.
Shout out to him.
Shout out. Also shout out to Prudentialist. He finally got a kidney today. Very proud of him.
Hey, nice. I like that guy.
And he tweeted. He said he's doing good. So praying for him. But yeah, it's really funny. You were talking about how a lot of the Anarchitties and their commune houses, and at the one, oh my god,
paid for by daddy.
Yeah, they're sort of like the Krust punker that their parents pay for them to be poor. At the one end, they're sort of like they're sort of LARPing the past, like the sort of aesthetics of the underclass, but yet they have a very like terrible venal opinion of the underclass and how ideology is like a tool to mask it. So would you say I mean, I know labels are stupid and ridiculous, but are you more of like the more classic Marxist persuasion, or how would you describe yourself politically if you were to like just give a quick,
I think labels I generally avoid, but at the same time, there's a lot of utility in that, right? Because it's just the simplest way to communicate big ideas to people. And I mean, I'm all about making sure things I say are accessible. Like, I don't want random. I don't want to be very esoteric and niche. I don't want that. Like, other people like that. I don't like that. To me, it's like, it's got to be very understandable. And to me, it's like economic populism is the label I just go with, which is just very simple. It's just like, you know what I mean? If you're wondering why people in Florida could vote Trump or vote for like right-wing social things, but for minimum wage increases or left-wing economic things, like that's how I sort of see it. Is like, it's not really I don't really care about the social dimension. I have left social values myself, but I don't have any intention imposing on anyone, and I don't like right-wing imposed cultural values either. So I just sort of stay agnostic on that and just focus on the material end of it. And that's why economic populism to me just seems like the simplest way to convey that, is that I only care about the bag, getting the bag, you know what I mean? And us getting the bag. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get too much deep. Yeah.
Well, when you say us getting the bag, will there also be a certain amount of that bag that's extracted from other people who would also go into this us? Or what is the us in this case? Because that's like the big thing that, let's say, a lot of free market supporters are against, this idea of other people benefiting at the behest of people who would, let's say, either, I wouldn't say work harder because that's bullshit, but I would say work smarter. Because working smarter may also imply investing a certain amount of time to going to a particular school and learning a particular trade, or learning something that's going to enable you to excel above everybody else. And hopefully some of the people that keep doing that shit will eventually wind up creating things that are going to push us to the stars. That's kind of like the general idea that people have, which is why there is a big concern when you have somebody saying, I am for the people, and the people and I are going to take all this percentage of money away from everybody else. And usually what happens is that the top 1% end up getting cozy with the new regime, and all the people stuck in the middle end up having to pay for a lot of that. So that's my primary concern, but I wonder where you would fall in that particular thing.
Yeah, I think this is sort of where I differ on some with some right-wing people, is that I don't really believe in I won't say I won't believe in scarcity. I'll just say that I believe that a lot of it is forced scarcity or an illusion of scarcity. Like some of this the whole eat the bugs, get in the pod thing, right? Like we all need to do that because there's just not enough space, there's just not enough resources for all of us, which is bullshit. And this is like generic Bernie-esque shit. I mean, I hate Bernie now, obviously, but like this is generic shit. But it's just like all these guys are hoarding, and it's not even a Bernie thing. It's just facts, right? They're just hoarding an obscene amount of wealth, and it seems strange to me when right wingers or whoever will talk about, oh, there's not enough to go around. We're all these crabs in a barrel. While these guys are on their third yacht or their fourth yacht or whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it may be enough, but that's not the question. The question is, what are going to be the actions of those people who are obscenely wealthy once certain things start to come into play? So if, let's say, you have some kind of a tax, then the argument goes, well, all these ultra rich motherfuckers are just going to go to a different country. China's around, they can go there, and the people who will be left picking up the slack are going to be the people in middle class. And let's not even get started on the lawyers. Think of how many lawyers a lot of these ultra wealthy people have that can afford to find loopholes in whatever tax systems, and as a result, you may have somebody who comes in, maybe not somebody very extreme, but somebody who says, well, like, the rich should pay their fair share. And then what ends up happening? Then the people who are earning like 500K, they're the ones who end up spending money for everybody else, but the people who actually would be able to maybe get a little bit more tax revenue extracted from, they're smart enough to hire the right lawyers to figure out a way out of that. And how do you,
sure.
what do you do about that?
For sure, yeah. The offshore.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
If these people are so rich and America becomes so tax heavy for them that they want to move to another country, just let them move to another country. I mean, everyone says America is the best country in the world. So if it's that great, they're going to pay the fucking taxes. And if they don't want to pay it, they're going to fuck off to whatever other country they want. And then that technically just keeps bumping people up on the ladder then, because there's less rich people, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand how money works.
Well, let's say they do go to China. You are not the biggest, unlike certain people who, like you were alluding to before, talk or write in very complicated ways, and you like to be a lot more straightforward. A certain person we all know and love who writes in very complicated ways.
Are you subtweeting Logo right now? Are you going after Logo right now?
He's a big fan of the Red Dragon and Black Compilled. What is
actually,
your
that is a double meaning, because Logo is actually a huge fan of William Blake. And as we all know, the Red Dragon came from one of his lithographies. So go. Yeah,
he's also a big fan of Bucky the Beaver, by the way, who wears a red hat, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Anyway, go for it.
Well, yeah, we had him on one episode talking about the G pill. Which I don't know if you guys heard that, but yeah, I mean, I just fundamentally disagree. I mean, I don't. What the argument is just that they're more competent or whatever. I don't know if this is a thing with everybody who's not everybody who's like sort of in the lineage of Moldbug's writings, but yeah, the idea that they're just more competent and it's easier to identify who's in charge. I mean, to me, it's just like, do you want like the Orwellian nightmare or the Huxleyan nightmare? It's like, I don't really want to trade this Huxleyan nightmare for an Orwellian one. That's how I feel. I feel like it's a false choice. I feel like
agree.
that
there is a romanticism. I think some like certain people on the right do have for the Chinese regime, because they can exert the Han will over the minorities. And
these motherfuckers have never lived in the Soviet Union. Gio, I know that you hate it,
but at the same time, like, your liberalism just totally is off the mark as well. I hate to say it, buddy.
I don't give a fuck. My liberalism is exactly in the mark it should be, because people have a crystal ball. Like Adam Carolla says, I have a crystal brain. Okay, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And
let me get that crystal dome, bitch.
That crystal meth.
But it is true, like what you were alluding to, though, about how you were talking about this with Twinkervolt, who we also want to have on the show.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, when you like really like look into market inefficiencies, for example, I mean, I know this is a very controversial take for a lot of people, but I think like the meat production, like I think if we get rid of like maybe McDonald's and Burger King and shit like that, that's like objectively unhealthy for most people, and especially people who are of a lower socioeconomic disposition. Like there was this one line from a Necro song with his brother Ill Bill, grown up on Burger King nutrition. I think like people would pretty much have stability in world meat prices if we sort of like find a way to destroy certain corporations like McDonald's. I mean, that's just a thought. I could be wrong though, but
we can go 3D print some stuff and then visit the CEO of McDonald's and Burger King.
Whoa.
3D print stuff.
James.
Fedposting.
We'll 3D print a beautiful replicant of a classic Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Like, what else do you think I was talking about here?
We're going to show the CEO, this is how talented we are. You should hire us for a Lego.
Look,
3D
no
print.
one else has started using 3D printing yet as a replacement for Minecraft. I'm starting the trend right here. I started it in Miami. I'm going to start this trend.
People have used 3D printed meat, so that could be.
Wait, I want to touch on the meat thing. Okay, so part of
you want to what? You want to what?
No. Okay, part of
sounds pretty fruity, Lev.
Well, I like fruit
someone
too.
asked
I'm
in the chat.
I like eating fruit.
Someone asked in the chat if Black is actually a black man. Are you a black man?
No, he's white.
He's white?
Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. I don't know why there's so much confusion.
Boy.
I don't know why there's so much confusion because my voice and the things I talk about, it's very strange.
Yeah.
It's all right there in the description.
Yes. I mean, where do you think Chet Hanks got the idea from White Boy Summer? He's friends with Peter Kay.
There you
go. Okay, so back to the factory farm meat. I don't like this idea of all these cows and chickens living in this hellscape, this demonic hellscape, and part of me is happy that at least there's going to be less of that happening. I'm still for, let's say, small farms where they actually take care of the fucking animals, but can we at least say that it's good that these factory farms are not going to be there as much, if that's what's going to happen in the future? Or are you guys pro factory farms, pro slaughtering of the poor cows? Or where do you stand? Where do you stand? I want to know.
Do you beat your wife? Have you stopped beating your wife?
Well, first you slaughter the cow in the factory farm, then you go back home and you take the rage out on your wife because you are karmically.
Sounds like a regular weekday.
Yeah, someone did studies of slaughterhouse workers and domestic violence. They compare to cops in terms of domestic violence. I can't.
Or prison guards, right? Prison guards should be a similar thing. By the way, Super Iron Bob again, $5 I lost 100 pounds from basically just McDonald's. It's less McDonald's, more the discipline.
Yo, I saw you in Super Size Me, bro. Yo, shout out to you, man. I love that
scene. Now we know the real identity of Super Iron Bob, and
what's his name?
Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan Spurlock.
I didn't get to meet him, but I saw him from a distance at the Woodstock Film Festival. So that was anyway. Fuck the Woodstock. No, don't fuck the Woodstock Film Festival. I really enjoyed my time there. Thank you very much, Laurent Reggio. That's the festival head name. My film was in there, so I really appreciate. Actually, Black Compilled. Any thoughts on film festivals?
I've never been to one. I don't have any strong feelings. I know James fucking hates them. He was on ours ranting about that shit.
Okay, what don't you like about film festivals, James?
I think if you're in the audience and you're about to ask a question at a Q&A, there should be a sniper ready to fucking boom headshot you if you ask even a mediocre
3D print
question,
you,
let alone a bad one.
3D print you.
Yeah, 3D print some stuff with a 3D print a scope for a sniper rifle and stuff, and just perch up. I'll be the sniper.
I'll do it.
I'll print off the 3D whatever. So Black yes. We didn't answer the meat question.
Yes, Gio, where do you stand on the meat question?
Me or
yeah, you go for it. You brought it back up, so you started.
Oh my!
I hate the animal. I hate the animal rights people. I hate them. That's my only stand. You know how it's like. It's like I'm not necessarily pro-Palestine. I'm just anti-Israel. It's like, I don't know about the meat. Like, I don't know about the animals, but like, I hate the animal rights people.
Yeah,
I just don't like them. I definitely think that factory farming is kind of like brutal, and we should have sort of respect. We should, in some ways, incentivize local farming. And I think, like, just in general, given the rates of antibiotic resistance that we're going to experience, I feel that maybe like it's better to have like cleaner, more well ventilated stables than like injecting them with various hormones.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but that being said, I feel that the whole like you were saying, the drive against the like things like farming in general, or even like consumption of meat, like they have to do this really strange, weird vegan mythology about the development of even human evolution. How like, well, no, actually, we didn't evolve to eat meat. It's like all that bullshit. It's like kind of like a weird, I would say like a weird vegan race science. Towards,
I'll be right back.
Eating meat is racist or something like that. It's like this weird sort of attitude towards it. I think is just terribly inhuman in some ways. I don't know.
Didn't the WEF said that eating meat is bigotry? That was a fake headline, wasn't it? I forget what it was.
I think it was fake, but then you had some academics that like went out of their way to point out just in general, like you were talking about the what would you call it, ad busters leftism, and when you're younger you're really taken in by the no logo argument, but I think it's kind of true in the sense of if people within the developing world, if they had a choice, they probably would like kind of live like us, and it's not that where our consumer choices are fundamentally against what other people think. It's just that, I mean, let's face it, a lot of consumer choices are kind of manufactured to begin with. So, yeah. Where am I going with this? My God, speciesism. Nathan Duffy speciesism. Nathan asked him, "Is the black part of blacks' heritage doing race crimes against his Asian part?" What the?
Yes,
fuck?
all the time. Yeah, I had a tweet where I black on Asian hate crime is real. I hate myself.
Oh man, that's pretty.
I accuse myself of loitering in the store, and then I accuse myself of being racist for accusing myself of that. It's the whole process.
Now, according to Hotep Sophia, she was talking about this on the last left stream that we did, which I am going to bring back. Don't worry, I just have to get rid of a few OPSEC reason things. But she was talking about how Chinese people in particular, or Koreans, I think too, they would go into black neighborhoods and they would set up shop, and a lot of the black people don't really take kindly to that because they say that they're taking business out of the community. Mm-hmm. Is that indeed the case? I mean, Thomas Sowell talks a lot about how you would have immigrant groups setting up shop in different places. With the Chinese, I believe, like in other places of Southeast Asia, there's a similar thing they do. The Iranians, who became, I think they were called the Farsis in India. Same thing there. They went into India and they started becoming successful in various commercial interests. So at that point, it's like, if you can't really compete as well, why? I mean, this is my inner cringe libertarian speaking here, but if you can't compete in a certain marketplace, then why do you want to get rid of or punch out the people who are doing a better job of competing there? Like, what exactly am I missing from that?
No, yeah. Well, the way I view it is sort of that crabs in a barrel thing, where there's this, these people in these ghetto areas that are, like the LA riots, and sort of, honestly, after this COVID economic crash, there's all these people in the streets, the Kenosha thing, like everybody's like, the racial tensions are high and everybody's at each other's throats and all that. And honestly, like you get that feeling of, oh, this Korean business is coming in and they're taking food out of my mouth, because you're not given the basics to survive. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, everybody's healthcare should be covered, education should be covered, housing, like all this stuff should either be heavily subsidized, or this is all I care about. This is all I don't care about any other cultural war issues. I don't care about any other aid poll issues. And like, if you were in this situation, if you somehow, and you asked a good question before, Lev, of like, how do you get this leverage? I don't know the best way to do this. I mean, they have all these offshore accounts and everything, but like, if you were to find some way to obstruct commerce or find some way to leverage against them to get these demands met to whatever degree, you wouldn't be in a situation where you would say, oh, this person is my neighbor's taking food out of my mouth. You wouldn't feel that way because you would have your basics covered. Your kids wouldn't be starving. You'd be fine. So you wouldn't even have that mentality of crab in a barrel mentality.
But see, that's also an interesting question, which I'm not sure about. I want to hear from more people so that I can understand it better. But I remember Hotep Sophia, for example, she was talking about like how in her neighborhood, she lives in D.C., they have this completely free service where they send out to the people.
Well, she did live in D.C. She moved out of it, thank God.
Yeah. But when she was living in D.C., there was a service that would send the people in the neighborhood like farm fresh vegetables and things like that. But I don't know, when it comes to whether having those basic creature comforts is enough, people have talked about like people who have come from like the real third world or like places in Eastern Europe that are still kind of fucked up. They go to America and they look at the worst neighborhoods here, the poorest neighborhoods here, and they're like, man, these people are living high on the hog in comparison to where the fuck I came from. So there may still be something like at least that they're seeing that maybe it's not just that you don't have enough stuff compared to somebody else. Maybe there is a certain baseline at which it's not so much about that, and it may be much more about family structure. It may be much more about whether dad's around or any of that. Like, how much do you think would contribute to that, and how do we solve that? Because that seems to be a pretty big problem too.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that the family structure. I don't believe in any of that because this is sort of the whole thing of me just having a very strict like economic.
Wait, what do you mean you don't
things.
believe in the family structure?
I think we should abolish it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I
know you're kidding, but like I don't know.
No, what I mean is like I don't believe that like.
You don't think it's a silver bullet to solving poverty? In other words.
No, I don't think if you fix people's families, all of a sudden.
I don't think it's a silver bullet. I think it's a gold bullet. I know we're gonna disagree on this, but
sure.
If you take a look at, for example, any family where the parents focused on education, focused on making sure that their kids stay out of trouble, that they kind of know like who they're dating, who they're hanging out with, there seems to be a certain trajectory that those kids take, as opposed to kids who don't really have that kind of influence and just end up getting influenced by the other kids with single moms in the neighborhood. Like, it doesn't mean that people can't get out of that situation and accomplish great things, but if you were a betting man, which would you bet on as far as the most amount of people, as far as who's going to succeed?
I get what you mean. I don't think either of what we're saying, like of a cultural answer or an economic answer, will solve everything, obviously, right? It's just a matter of what we think will have the broadest impact. But in general, do you feel like in general, like more of like an internal locus of control, like as far as what shapes history? Like, do you feel like throughout history, like different societies, whether they do well or worse, is based on external factors? Because that's what I believe, like different.
Well, I could give you an example. So there is a neighborhood called Curious Joel in New York. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, so Curious Joel is an ultra-Hasidic neighborhood, and it is considered to be one of the poorest neighborhoods, if not the poorest neighborhood in the entire United States. This neighborhood has some of the lowest crime ever recorded. So obviously there may be certain things going on inside the community.
But Lev, don't you think that lends to some other type of arguments? I know that you don't want to go down that road.
Oh God, Gio.
Doesn't that make you want to check the early life section?
I looked at this early life section and I saw everything I needed to know about them right then and there.
Oh God.
No, what it leads to. Okay, I'll tell you this.
Like,
no, hold on.
We even got the same brand of small hats.
I'm gonna tell you what it leads to. You know why we happen to see a lot of people who are wealthy and in power, like let's say the Bidens or the Trumps, marrying into Jewish families? I'll tell you exactly why. Because there's a sense of reliability there. There's a sense that you're not gonna go wrong with a nice Jewish family. They're gonna give extra.
Well, no, that and they also intermixed with the WASP overclass more than a lot of other newly landed immigrants in the later 20th
no, but
century.
the point that I'm getting to here is that with this
not to say like again, I'm not like making some kind of like
with the Satmar Hasidic sect.
But...
And look, the Satmar Hasidic sect, it's got a lot of problems. There are some crazy motherfuckers in there. A lot of Jews. By the way,
they do have crime left though, but they have like outgroup crime.
Yeah, it's like
they have like a mafiatic type of structure. Like,
I mean, there's some stuff happening. There's some stuff happening indoors, but you're not gonna see a Jewish grandmother getting punched out by a youth there. That's all I'm saying.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
I saw it happen.
I did it.
Ask me my source.
I was there. I did it.
Ask me my source.
You put on the yarmulke.
Yeah,
I made it up.
You snuck into Curious Joel just to punch out a Jewish grandma.
They switch between. They're white people one day. They're not white people. Never mind. I'm not.
Yo, yeah, the Jewish knockout game is on another level, bro. You gotta see that. That shit is real. Jewish, Hasidic Jewish knockout game in Williamsburg.
Now, if we want to talk about the knockout game in Israel, never mind.
Oh, there we go.
No, I'm not gonna get left started on that. But to answer your question, as like la-based reactionary trad, whatever you want to call it. Trad is kind of like a very complex word nowadays. I think that I generally believe that every empire was made on the back of some form of a family structure. I don't think necessarily like the 1950s atomized family. That was sort of like the beginning of the end. I mean, what is more considered historically to be family as a clan, as a tribe. But I do feel that it's true what you say, that there are, this is American mythology, right? This is like the dream of someone through a proper family structure. And let's face it, it's usually of the African American persuasion. They get their way out of poverty by being, basically being everything that Ben Shapiro said, like you have to come from a good family, blah, 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 lift yourself out of poverty. But at the same time, you're right, material conditions, having a proper values and family structure can get you far, but it can't get you just by the sheer force of the material conditions around you. And even the education system is just abysmal.
Right.
And Sotep Sophia was talking about the sort of separate but equal that they rejected during the Brown versus Board of Education during the Civil Rights Movement. As a Blasian yourself,
420 blazing it.
420 blazing it, yeah. How do you you're sort of at a crossroads, obviously. What do you feel in terms of education? Do you think that we should go back to more of a separate but equal, partially racialized education system, or do you feel that itself lends to like problems and just like your goal in terms of having people's material conditions met? What do you feel about education in general, especially like let's just really simple in the American context? I mean, that's a whole like stream on itself, American education system. Holy shit. But like,
yeah. No, I mean, I'm not an expert on education. We've had like Ed God and Alex G on who are like more well versed in it. But as far as like the separation thing, I don't personally believe in. I mean, I've struggled with the question myself. Like, if there is the race war and these ethno states pop off, which one am I going to? I struggle with that every night.
You can be like King Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. You remember who was split into two forms?
Yeah, hopefully. That's the best case scenario.
But it's like in prison,
the Asian PRK.
Yeah. I mean, but I think going in with that whole shtick of like just focusing on the class thing alone, I don't know what separating the schools would solve. Is this in pertaining to like the CRT conversation or in the schools?
Not just critical race, but I mean it could, but more so like the argument from like the basic Hotep argument that our black nationalist argument that people, black people would benefit from an education system that was centric around their own needs and their own sort of wants. And I wonder, I mean,
I get what you mean. Yeah, like that idea of like, oh, we're being tested on different skills. Like, what is that cartoon where it's like a bunch of different animals being tested on whether they could climb a tree, and it's like we're different animals.
No, but it doesn't even matter if it's black or white, because if you have a black kid who wants to study a particular thing, and that happens to not be the thing that they study in his school, then he could go to a school where they do study it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what color he is or whatever. If there is a certain thing that people want to strive for, we should have an open door to let them strive it. Like, I never understand the reactionary argument for what's the other fucking way here. What is the other way of basically enacting laws?
Lev, listen, class is a metaphysical entity. You can't. It's impossible. It's never going to happen. Anyway. I don't know. I get that argument, but at the same time, I mean, American education. I mean, let's just look at higher education. I mean, I'm a product of the Canadian education system, which is kind of similar, but it's, well, in some ways it's worse. But like, for example, I came out of grad school without crushing debt because of my grades, whereas in America, it really is like a very like rigidified class-based structure where you either pay or you know people. I don't know. Is that a good system? Like to have just rich kids that are dumbass getting...
It's not a great system for the rich kids right now, because I was speaking to some of the parents who brought their kids into these, like the Rudolf Steiner school and places like that, and now the parents are complaining that these kids are being fucking brainwashed by all of this critical race theory stuff, and I'm happy that they're starting to say something about it finally, but, you know...
Well, that's a separate issue, but I mean, in general, just access to the levers of education is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean these rich people are very woke. I mean, this sort of just ties to the conversation of like the wokeness and you know that meme of like the woke and the racist agree of like, oh yeah, we need like separate schools because like black people and white people are intrinsically different, and a racist will agree with that and a woke person will agree with that. Like, I don't agree with that. I just don't. I don't think people are that intrinsically different. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that. I mean, I know that's sort of taboo now because the right and the left.
No, but there are different cultures that people mesh into. You wouldn't have, for example, somebody like, I don't know, I'm gonna bring up Verse Laloon. I'm sorry, I always bring up. But okay, Verse Laloon's father is a professional dancer. He would never be a part of like the Bloods and the Crips. It's like a whole different culture.
You don't know that.
Well, I'm taking.
That's not falsifiable, Lev. What the fuck?
Come on. That's. I mean,
okay. Look, I know you had Tupac.
I mean, Glenn Jacobs, before he was Kane, he was a journalist major. Then he became mayor of Knoxville, but he was Kane. Come on, Lev.
I don't know, but the point here is that I think it is much more easier to look at people not based on race but based on culture. I think it's very immediately.
I think you base it based on if they're based. It's simple as that.
Yeah. That is culture. Yeah, base culture.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree with you. because the race thing is messy, right? Like the boundaries between races are already sort of messy, and like I was saying this before, like the census box races, like on the census box are like made up. It's completely made up. It's completely arbitrary. What Italians and Irish were not white a couple decades ago before they assimilated.
You still don't think that Italians are white?
No, they're not.
We're not.
They're not, and that's why we can say it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's true. But no, yeah. Fuck, where was I gonna go? Well, someone said in the chat, I saw today. Frankly, I hate to say it, but I don't know how he lasted this long, but woke capital got whacked on
R.I.P.
YouTube. R.I.P. Press F in the chat for woke capital. Especially this month. I don't know how he was going to survive another Pride Month, to tell you the truth.
Is that a name of a guy? There's a bread tuber? Or?
Woke capital. He's the account that compiles all of the examples of corporate woke capitalism.
Oh yeah, it's a good account. Yeah.
So RIP. I mean, I'm sure he'll probably come back. By the way, great interview he did with Parallax Optics. This was a few years ago. But everyone seems to be talking about critical race theory now. What is your take on that? And what is your take on woke capital in general? I mean, from like listening to the Fedpost and from your tweets, I sense that you're not exactly in line with fucking James Lindsay or some of these other grifters.
By the way, quickly,
by the way, James Lindsay is a fucking coward. He will not debate me and Alex Kashuda.
Gio, let me work on it. Let me work on it, buddy. Well, okay, $5 US.
Sounds upset.
$5 US from Super Iron Bob. Racial self-identification can be reliably mapped to allele groups, there's a biological component there. What that means is question mark, question mark, question mark. So I don't know. I mean, the whole thing, it's kind of like you have different. Okay, so you have a gradient of people where you would say, like, what are the people in Kazakhstan, for instance? The people in Kazakhstan are like a combination of people who are more, from Asia, more from China, Asia, like the Han, and people who are more from Europe or Eastern Europe. And I don't give a shit, because you have brilliant, genius people from all over. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Again, why this argument with race? But anyway, I mean...
Yeah, I agree. I have a race science friend, IRL friend that I've had for years, and he I don't know. I don't want to dead name you if you don't consider that race science. But like, yeah, I mean, basically, like, yeah, I've heard a lot of these arguments, like Klein's and all that stuff. I mean, like, I don't know, maybe, but to me, it's
my thing is like the same solution that people would want to see is just as easily undertaken when you just judge people by what they do. Again, I don't know. I keep repeating this 100 times already, but it's so fucking clear that when you're around somebody, if they act like you act, or if they act, if they start throwing dinner plates around, you can instantly tell what kind of person they are. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if there could be that much difference between people's brains. I mean, there's difference genetically between everybody, of course. There's always ranges, but like, I don't know between.
Oh no, there are differences, and I know that Buff especially is gonna get pissed off at me for talking about this. Fuck you, Buff. I don't care. The Russians were under the Buff, Buff, our friendly neighborhood Buff. Anyway,
no clue who he is, but
the Russians were under the thumb of the Golden Horde, which are the Mongols, for a really long amount of time, and afterwards they were serfs under the Russian Tsars, who were mostly European themselves, not as Slavic, you could say, but whatever. The point here is that affected them in such a way that they do have more or less a different way of looking at life as a culture, again, not individuals, but as a culture, versus the Ukrainians, who racially speaking are the same fucking people. They're like the Kievian.
No, they're not, Lev.
The Kievian Rus.
Don't go to fucking Moscow and say that. Come on.
No, actually, no. They make the point that they are because they want to take Ukraine. So they'll say, "Oh, they're just like us, so we should have Ukraine." But anyway.
Well, I mean that's I agree with Putler on that one.
Oh Lord. Well,
anyways, go ahead, Black, about capital and race and yeah. Because I know you have a limited amount of time, so.
Oh yes, yeah, well, I don't really know what is critical race theory. I really don't know. I put it in my name, and I'm now pro it. I'm pro critical race theory, but I don't even know what it is, honestly, personally.
Based?
Now that I hit 10K, weird. Once I hit 10K, I'm like, yo.
I don't even want to tell you what it is now. I just like the fact that this is how you approach it, and I want you to remain in the ignorance.
I really love
mode.
The threads that are coming out. This one guy that some media companies like, well, this is kind of what these people don't know about what critical race theory is, and I noticed there is kind of like a hive mind going on where. Do
you guys know what it is? Have you guys read it? Like.
Well, yeah, like I've read I've read my fair share of critical theory, but wait, Lev, you want to go on this? No, but critical. I mean, it pretty much is just a what would you call it? Fuck. It is one of those things like postmodernism. How can you define it? It's a tool. It's a lens, or rather, an intellectual tool to view sort of different problems of interracial racial relations, especially within the American context. It's basically it's taking a lot of post-structuralist thought that comes out of like quote unquote French theory, which itself is a misnomer, but it takes, like, for example, a lot of the scholarship of people like Frantz Fanon, who learned this, from older thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, and it examines the character of subjugated groups or minority, well, not the term minority, but let's just say subaltern groups within the pantheon of American society, and how they view their own subjectivity and identity through the lens of quote unquote systemic racial oppression, which has been inculcated throughout society in various ways that are even like unconscious and so forth. At least that's my butchered understanding of critical race theory. It's rather a critique of the ways in which and let's face it, it's just American society that they're importing outwards.
It's very like what American centric. You feel?
Well, like
I do feel very much so. It's American centric.
Like Juneteenth would be an example of something related to critical race theory, right?
Yes, because it's critiquing and problematizing the very foundations and underpinnings of America itself. And some people say that it's not real. I mean, what do you think of the Juneteenth thing? Do you think that's
3 days left, by the way?
Oh yeah, till Juneteenth. Yes.
I don't know. I think all that shit's stupid. I mean, I don't know. This critical race theory thing is like, I don't know. It sounds like the opposite of what I think. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, these people are just pushing this just because. I mean, look, you're going to embolden the weaker faction, right? If you're seeing any conflict and you want it to keep going and you don't really care about either faction, the smarter thing to do is to embolden the weaker faction. That's all it is. I don't think that they genuinely care about black people or minorities or genuinely hate white people. I really don't think that. I think they're just smart and they know that this is the way to keep culture war and idpol conflict going. It's the smartest thing to do, and it's working. It's working every day.
I think that there are some true beliefs. Like at the end of the day, let's face it is used to justify sort of creating a white underclass. But that being said,
for sure.
I think like it's one of those things where it's a lot simpler than people like to make it out. I mean, in this one thread by this Howard guy, I think, this is the guy that created the Roots magazine. That guy. He said that he's like, well, on the question of race, I mean, race is a social construct, but race is sort of an economic class. And I do agree, like race is so at least in part socially constructed, and at least in part it does revolve around, at least in America, it always has revolved around class issues.
For sure.
But do you see that as a Marxist yourself? Do you think that like what do you think of like the sort of analysis of that really it's a class, not just that's just a class issue, but do you think like when people point to black criminality and the usual like 50% of the crimes
15,
yeah do you like think that it's like those issues, do they really come down to a form of racialization in the criminal justice system, or is it just purely like the economic state of black people in America in general?
Well, first thing I just got to say that I don't claim Marxism, and I don't want to say that because Marxists will get very upset with me if I stay claim on that. But
that's true.
But I mean, I think there is a racial dimension to things in terms of how like if you're the ruling class, right, it's easy to just collapse a lot of economic oppression and just by idpol categories to just be like, all right, well, this marginalized group, they're the one that's causing all your problems, and it's a lot easier. But I think what's happened now is that mode of like the welfare queen, like the super predator, like that whole mode that sort of fell out of favor. You know what I mean? Like the 90s, like the Democrats. The 90s and
Democrats
then
with Ronald Reagan, Ronnie Reagan in the 80s, and
yeah, exactly. And Clinton being like a lived up, revamped version of Reagan and all that. Like they were all doing that, and I just feel like that sort of ran out of usage, and basically they have to switch it now to being like the white underclass is actually really the cause of all our problems. So they're just gonna flip flop back and forth. However is useful and whenever is convenient. That's how I view it. I think
it's kind of like taking a burger patty and flipping it around until like all sides are charred just the right heat.
Right. I think exactly. I think it's like, all right, they were both groups were fucked. Obviously, underclass white people and underclass black people. But as far as the media portraying of it, like now they're just gonna make sure that you're all equally fucked. You know what I mean? Instead of like white underclass people being like a slight leg above, now it's like now you're gonna be equally fucked. And then so everybody's just arguing over this. That's how I view it.
But do you view it as something that people in the smoke-filled room concoct, or do you view it as people going with the flow of whatever whatever's going on? Maybe subconsciously, this is what they want to do.
Concoct. I think the wokeness shit is a complete fucking psyop. I mean, this is just not natural, and every day the goalposts are moving. I mean, there's nothing. They workshop it in academia, and these in journalism or whatever, and then
the MBs and Enterkitties take it up and
yep, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Default Friend was making the post about talking about how Tumblr culture had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Much more than
yeah.
I missed all that. Were you guys on that? Do you guys see any of that?
I was aware of it, but that was during the great 4chan versus Tumblr war of 2014.
Well, I missed all that. I've only been online a year. That's wild.
Oh man,
that happened.
I just honestly view a lot of that as like very low culture coming to the fore, and people having to pretend this low culture is high culture, giving it accolades. And this is like I'm kind of a snob. Maybe it's my partly like my Russian nobility DNA or whatever.
Oh my god!
Base.
Yes, exactly.
And your education, you went to fucking Lee Strasberg, bro.
Lee Strasberg, yes.
Lee
Strasberg Theater
Holy
Institute,
shit.
where Robert De Niro went, where Al Pacino went.
Shit.
Marilyn Monroe. By the way, guys, look up, when you have a chance, look up Lee Strasberg in The Godfather Part 2. I mean, watch Godfather Part 2 in general, but the way that he acted in that movie, and he hardly ever acted, this was just like a favor that he did to his students, acting in there. It is so, I mean, Gio, you saw that movie, right? It was so fucking phenomenal, the way that
Part 2 is better than Part
lines.
1, in my opinion.
I agree. But anyway, the vibe that I'm getting from a lot of this stuff is that people are afraid of calling out low culture, and I see Tumblr culture as being low culture if the only thing that people care about at the end of the day are their pronouns and their identity, and if they wear flags with a certain color pattern and that denotes all that they have to contribute to civilization. It's a very low bar. Anybody could meet that bar, and I think that people make the mistake of making the argument of, oh, like these are, this is degenerate, yada, yada. And that adds fuel to the fire where they could say, well, you're just a bunch of bigots and you're intolerant. Maybe the idea is to actually try and claim that they are operating at a very low cultural level. I don't know if that argument's been made before. I want to take back the art world. I want to take back the world of culture away from people who don't deserve to be in that world, I think, by what they contribute to it right now, because it's very low. Yeah,
there's a low barrier to entry. If you have a TikTok and you're a Zoomer and you put some pronouns in your name, you're an official source for.
I mean, then again, maybe it's the fucking internet. So what choice do people have? It's gonna be the lowest common denominator. The internet is open for everyone. There used to be a time when it wasn't. There used to be a time when people had to figure out how to use the fucking internet and get on the internet that way. No more
barriers to entry.
Right.
Where,
Right.
Only autistic nerds could be in the internet. But sorry.
No, yeah. I mean, like, I'm generally like against credentialism, but one trend I noticed that you're sort of talking about is like these Zoomers that were just like rad-lib Zoomers that were just like, yeah, Chomsky doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't like Chomsky. Chomsky's a fucking lib now, obviously, but who the fuck are you? Like, you're just some random fucking twat out in fucking Brooklyn. I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, you don't know shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't know shit. Like, why am I listening to you over him? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there should be some degree of that.
People are afraid of criticizing her because she has all the right credentials where it counts today.
Wait, who?
What are you gonna say? You know what I'm talking about.
Is this the one from Chapo or Chapo adjacent? What's her name? Mary Lee Pog?
No, I'm not sure. What's her name? I don't know. She's just some
Grace
dumb.
Lee Pog?
She's just some dumb artsy chick in fucking Brooklyn. Like there's a million of them, you know.
They're all dumb artsy chicks, including the men.
The art hoes.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I think it was Grace Lee Pog, the one who had a lot of those creepy pornographic photos with the Richardson guy.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Antifada. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's on Majority Report. Jamie Peck. Yeah.
Oh, Jamie Lee Peck. There you go.
God damn, man.
Oh,
by the way,
she's up there with Vouch. She's up there with like the worst rad libs.
Do you know about my good friend Adam Lair?
Yeah. He's been on the show. We've been on his.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. He's a good friend of mine. He fucking went to a reading group, him and his wife, and she was there, and she was a total moron. And she was with the guy who got canceled recently, something Virgil Virgil, Texas.
Yeah, he's from Chapo. Yeah.
So, what do you think? You're not a big fan of the Chapo.
Oh, and $5.
Oh yeah,
Before
sorry,
that,
$5.
Yeah. Super Iron Bob, the Eternal September is a perpetual hazard of popular access to forums.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's true.
More. And number 2, I just want to say
Eternal
before
September.
I forget, a great name for a mature Indian MILF porn star would be Anti-Fada.
Oh god. Antifata. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, Chapo Trat House. By the way, it's 7:02. I just want to make sure. I don't want to be a clock watcher, but I'm just saying for your own sake, because I don't want to let you down.
Oh yeah. I can I can just stay on for like a little bit longer. But
sure.
What
super
happened
chats.
to Slav?
Send the super chats.
Slav, I think he's at the job. He's got a new job, so he was like, "I'm gonna try to make it, but I don't know." If
Wage
can,
slave.
Yeah,
wage
cuck.
Wage Slav.
Wage Slav. Yeah.
I think that was the origin of the word. I'm not sure, but anyway, Chapo Trap House. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gay.
well,
simple as.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. I mean, I used to like those guys, and like, yeah, they're just very well, they just went live. I mean, this is what happens after enough money, after enough time. They just fucking.
Can't
they just
blame
went
them.
live. They just said, there's no better option than voting for Biden if you dislike Trump's authoritarianism. And that's a real quote. It's real. And that
true.
Biden is the greatest president of our lifetime. It's another real quote.
Oh no!
So, I
no,
mean,
Kush bomb, no.
yeah, it's bad. So I mean, it's just disappointing. But I should have known from the jump that most of my friends that were cooler than me, they knew. They were like, yo, those guys fucking they're libs. They already knew. So
Black Compilled, you know who we should link you up with? We should link you up with Jessica DeLoach. Right, Gio? Wouldn't that be a great combination?
Maybe that'd be
No, because she can hang. Like she worked for Pete Buttigieg's campaign, and she is still in the Democratic Party, and she is, I think, one of the best people we've had on BTR. She can take the bans, and she bans right back at you. She is not what I would ever call like a standard, run-of-the-mill, cookie-cutter politician person. She is based, I dare say. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm down to talk to anybody.
Buddha fucking fake gay. She's definitely not base, but she's probably
yes, she is.
She's probably just
Yes,
less
she is.
fucking cringe
Base
compared to the
presenting.
rest.
Yeah.
So
Oh
that's all.
man. But yeah, the Chapo thing is interesting. How I mean, all those guys come from money. Let's face it. I mean, it's
that's a fact.
In media, in media people and connections. It's really interesting. I think like there's such a powerful LARP in the modern like Radlib left that to point it out is just a betrayal and in such a deep and fundamental level to point out that they're just LARPers at the end of the day. I don't know. It's
for sure.
I think that's why people like you and Amy and to an extent the Red Scare Girls. I who else am I thinking of in this space? I think that's why they get so much hate from people like them. Gio is stingy with his army of e-girls. Yeah, I mean, you have to patrol them. But
yeah, it's always like putting on the commie shirt or the commie hat and then taking it off to vote Democrat and then putting it back on. It's just like an endless. They joke about this themselves. They know that's what they do. Like, it's just an endless. And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't vote for Hillary. And I was like, no, there's no fucking way in hell I'm going to do that.
I mean, you saw that picture of Nancy Pelosi wearing a very similar outfit to the one that you're wearing right now. I in no way think that she's serious
that
about
photo.
that. She is not
oh my God.
She is not a true believer by any means.
Legendary.
But I do think that, okay, to play devil's advocate, okay, I'm not saying that what the quote-unquote elites are doing is great by any means, but let's say
do you think any
black
black person was like taken? Sorry, love, yeah.
No. Ask your question, then I'm gonna go on my.
No,
rant.
I mean, no. I was just gonna say, do you really honestly think any black person in California was taken in by Nancy Pelosi doing the?
I was moved. I was deeply moved.
So here's my very short rant. It's not going to be a rant. Anyway, when you have people who do certain things to pander to people who would be on the far left, and you could say, well, Chapo is also part of doing that. Mm-hmm. Let's say that certain ideas that you may have that are well-intentioned, or maybe ideas, not you, but let's say friends of yours may have that are well-intentioned. They want everybody to have health care and access to all these things. Let's say they end up implementing them, and then all hell breaks loose. The wrong person gets in charge. All of a sudden, there's a similar thing like the USSR. Just for example, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. For example,
sure.
So the role of the elites would be in that case, before that would ever happen, to kind of make sure to corral all these very extremist people within their circle, where they would shake a little baby rattle, a rainbow-colored baby rattle at them. And it's like, come on, calm down, baby, calm down. And finally the baby calms down.
God, that's disturbing, rainbow-colored rattle for so many reasons.
Yeah, you seen that Time magazine article where they were bragging about rigging it, and all the left activists, like head people were there, DSA people were there, like they were all there in the rooms talking about how to secure the election, which I think is rigged. I don't know about how you guys feel about it. But like these guys,
this is YouTube still. This is YouTube. Well, I don't know.
Let's say fuddle duddle. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the rule about that. My bad.
No problem.
Yeah, the election was interesting.
The election in Rhodesia was
yes.
Rigged,
yeah, it was one of the most normal elections I've ever seen, honestly, personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think these guys, I think Amy was right a long time ago. They're just recruiting for the Democrats. And honestly, the lockdown thing, anybody that is pro lockdown, I mean, to me, like that's a big red flag. I mean, the most massive wealth transfer for the elite and the Great Reset and monopolization. And they were all there just hand in hand with these people. The left was. So, I mean, these were big things that I had to leave the left for that.
Would you say it's a red flag with a yellow star on top of it?
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it.
Oh God.
$5 from Super Iron Bob. Election was fortified as documented in Time magazine.
Incredibly fortified. Incredibly.
With minerals and vitamins.
Yeah, with vitamin E.
But before I dip off, I just wanted to ask you guys, like, how would you guys describe your general like political inclinations? Like, would you describe it at all, or like how would you guys tell it to some random person?
A socialistic form of national. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Well, Lev, he's like a classic.
I'm a classic liberal, but here's the thing: I may be a classic lib, but at the same time, I believe in culture. I think culture is a very important thing, and I also believe that everybody is capable of going into whichever culture they want to be in, as long as they can actually get to that level of the culture. So if you have people who emigrated from other places to the United States, like let's say the first waves of immigration, where you had people from Ireland, Italy, whatever, and they did manage to integrate themselves into more of a waspish school environment, kind of like how Gio was talking earlier about Jewish people who end up getting waspified. I don't necessarily see that as generally a bad thing. I mean, there are certain things that I don't like about WASP culture. For example, I think that this tendency today of having a very cold relationship between the parents and the children, I think that is an example of a WASP kind of culture, where a lot of the parents end up going to the old folks' homes and stuff like that. But still, as far as like having a certain educational standard, whatever the fuck you want to call it, I don't see that as a bad thing. I think anybody is capable from anywhere of doing that. Some people won't, some people will, and that's kind of how I see society. Have an open door for whoever wants to participate in it, as long as they can actually participate in it, physically, mentally, whatever.
Equal opportunity, not necessarily equal outcome. Right.
Yeah, and I also believe in the safety net as well. I definitely believe in the safety net for people who, would otherwise not really be able to help themselves. But as far as that question we were talking about before, like how much of it is family, how much of it is government intervention, could be higher. I'm personally still leaning more on the family example, just from seeing people, just from seeing the way that people live, the way that people interact, seeing families that were much worse off morally than mine were. You know what I mean? Just seeing a dad, like a deadbeat dad, spending time during his day not being with his kids, but just like playing Mafia Wars all day. You remember Mafia Wars on Facebook?
No, I don't remember that.
Okay, well that shit took a lot of dads.
That was an oddly specific thing left.
Yes, because that actually happened. That's how you know it's the truth.
No, I feel you. And honestly, yeah, I like classical libs way more than modern libs. I think everybody does. But yeah, like my family, is from like immigrant background, like from third world countries. So like we sort of did the traditional, American dream scenario sort of thing to like me being like middle class or like not. I was never really like poor. You know what I mean? I never really struggled. So like, I get that. I just feel like as time is going on, they're rigging the game more effectively. That's how I feel about it. But what about you, Gio?
One last thing.
Go ahead, Lev.
I just want to ask, what do you think of Teddy Roosevelt? And I still want to read a lot more about TR, but that seems to be maybe a solution to a lot of these problems. Where before
based
you
American aristocrat, closest America ever.
Yeah, well, you had all these trusts back in the day, and he ended up busting the trust. So maybe we could hope for a similar thing to happen this time around. I don't know.
Absolutely, I'd be totally down for that. Absolutely.
All right, Gio.
I'm very weird. I mean, generally, I guess I'm situated on the right, obviously, but my heart of hearts, I'm more similar to arguments of a form of like not necessarily return to a particular regime, but I think like some form of like absolutist type of system is a political ideal, but I'm very postmodern about that. I generally call myself, like even on my handle, postmodern right, because I feel that I don't agree with a lot of the like NRX nerdism type of stuff, although I think a lot of their arguments are interesting and very compelling.
For sure.
But I'm not like, I wouldn't consider myself like as much as I've spent years reading Moldbug. I'm not like a quote unquote Moldbug. I mean, I've used various concepts like the cathedral over the years. I wrote this essay that actually was cited in the Moldbug Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was called the Foucauldian Cathedral. I know Moldbug, he didn't like that. I've heard from people he didn't like my essay because he hates like French theory. No, I think like when it comes to the question of tradition, I'm a traditionalist in the more of the like philosophic and metaphysical sense. I'm not like I see a lot of flaws in what the caricature is of the modern trad, but generally I was like years and years ago an ANCAP, but now I'm very much against like modern late capital, the way that it's structured now. But I do think that we're always going to have some form of a market or some form of like trade. But sure. I think like the way the economy is structured and the way that the corporatocracy has evolved over time to basically cement itself in every single social and cultural relation, not just economic relation. I think that pretty much has to go. I mean, when it comes to economics, I'm very much sympathetic to like non-Marxist types of socialism, like distributism.
Yeah, same.
Catholic social order.
Shout out to the distributists, by the way.
Yeah, you shout them out. Yeah.
Based, yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself a Marxist, but I'm very much like I'm a weirdo. Like I have very different beliefs, but I just generally say I'm on the right, put it that way.
I think that's the move. Slav says a similar thing. He's sort of like at the buffet, kind of sampling everything, taking what's useful from everything. I think that's the best way to think of it.
Yeah. To me, monarchism is like a metaphysical concept that is an ideal that motivates my politics. But in terms of the actuality of it, I think that especially within North America, these things are very much things have to dramatically change in order to implement these things. And I'm even skeptical, as much as I think it's a very like hippy dippy nice ideal, like the Moldbugian patchwork thing. I think that patchwork has a lot of flaws and could only come about through a dramatic rearranging of the social order. And I'm also sympathetic to the primitivist people, but I think that that's kind of unrealistic. I think that the right, in order to survive, has to incorporate some form of futurism, the way that the Italian futurists. But yeah, sorry, I cut you off, Black. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. I think that makes sense. I generally like people that are not too dogmatic and sort of have that sort of flexibility with the way they do things. And sort of like when Oren was on, just talking about NRX as like a lens, as a tool instead of like an ideology. I really liked. I like the way that like Marx's similar thing, to use it as a tool, not just be like some weirdo dogmatic person that can't like reframe it and recontextualize. Yeah, I like that. And also anybody on the right shifting away from the free market is really good. I really like that. I like seeing that in general.
I unironically believe
there seems to be more of it lately.
Yeah, I unironically believe in the Red Brown Alliance. We should encourage it.
Hell yeah. Nazbol gang.
Yeah. But I have certain dogmatic principles that stem from my religious and metaphysical beliefs. But in terms of like different social arrangements, I mean, I'm much less hard on a lot of these different groups that the right is like captivated by. Like people accuse me of being a simp all the time and shit like that, and
all the time, bro.
All the
Whoa,
time.
we're talking other groups. We're talking about women. We're talking about women as these other groups, right?
I personally
the
believe
American people are tired of women.
The best thing he's ever said. The only good thing he still said.
Yeah. I think that any political movement, I mean, as painful as to say, any political movement that is going to have any sort of sway is going to naturally have to deal with the fact that it's probably a good thing that, maybe not in terms of like forming the ideas, there's a lot of problems, but in terms of like just like women being comfortable with them, I think that's pretty much, I mean, it's undeniable that women have had a huge force in the development of every civilization in terms of their wants and their needs. But at the same time, I do sympathize with people. I don't know. I just don't like the fucking incel, like kind of LARPing the whole like no e-girls never thing. I think that, I don't know. To me, it's just.
By the way, we got Minotaur. Minotaur pledged $7 via Patreon.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much, Minotaur. I'm going to do the horns for Minotaur. Thank you so much, Minotaur, for becoming a patron. I really appreciate it, man. You are wonderful. Thank you so much. And Black Compilled, thank you so much. You are such an amazing guest. I would love to have you back for
future
episodes.
Even.
Yeah, as well as the whole gang. Bring the whole gang. Maybe I'll get one of those hats too. And James and Gio.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I definitely want to bring Slav and CH on too. But like, yeah, this is great, guys. Much appreciated. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much. The pleasure is ours.
Wait, let's do some quick promo. So patreon.com/ holy shit, what is this? R100 ARS. Let me just
What
see.
What is ARS?
Before I get too excited, let me see. Oh, it's Argentine pesos. So that's $1.
No! Well, it's a white person's currency. So there you go.
He says, Lev, you're wrong.
By the way, I found out that James posted another L on the stream on the account. I can't believe you, James. Right in the middle of the stream, you're posting a fucking tweet. Women posting their L's. Just found out my best friend is fucking the guy I've had a crush on for a year and lied to me about it. I've entered my Nora Ephron era. Who is Nora Ephron?
Is she related to Zac Efron?
Nora Ephron?
By the way, everybody subscribe who's watching this, because we're going to lose viewers as soon as Black Compil
Is that
leaves.
an L?
So,
like, I think the guy that...
subscribe.
I don't know.
Subscribe.
James, I'm sort of crossed on that L. I don't know.
Wait, before
it's not
the
her
L,
it's the guy's L. I mean,
I gotta read the Patreon comment.
Oh,
Lev,
sorry. Go ahead.
Lev, you're wrong about education. Modern school was invented in the French Revolution to replace church education. Its objective is to create a nation by giving young kids a mythology and values. Wait, but what was I wrong about necessarily? I don't understand the wrongness here. I wasn't making... I mean, I basically hate the state of education right now as it is. I think it should get replaced by some kind of a more competitive online environment where there could be like a master-disciple relationship with the teachers so that like the cream rises to the top, but whatever. Anyway, next, Patreon, Fedpost, patreon.com/Fedpost. Go there, become a patron. Here it is. Look at these three beautiful gentlemen over here.
That's us.
Yes, sporting the crowns. Wait, which one is you, and which one? I'm
the one with the melanin deficiency problem on the left.
Yeah,
Slav. I think Slav is GW.
Yeah, he's the GW.
But yeah, this is great. Hey, shout out.
You go ahead.
Shout out James too. Thanks for coming on, bro.
James, you there, bro?
I'll have James on for another one too at some point.
James has a 1,000-mile stare right now.
He's deep in it. He's deep in some woman's L's. Some woman's L's, just like
deers in the headlights moment right now.
Scanning a bunch of L's.
All right. And anything else? Oh, your Twitter. So, of course, twitter.com/thefedpost. Of course, please follow the Fedpost on Twitter. And, of course, follow Black Compilled on Twitter right over here. I'm posting it right in here. I would love to have you back. This is a wonderful show.
I love that, too.
And thank you so much for watching. I don't know if we're going to talk with James afterwards just to catch up on his Miami thing. James, do you want us to end the episode right now, or do you want us to catch up on the Miami thing right after Black Compilled exits? Let me know. There is no response. I don't even
One blink for yes, 2 blinks for no.
Me? Are you talking about me? I was editing my episode.
Yes, I wanted to ask you. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I muted you guys in the mic to edit my episode real quick. Did I miss anything?
No, I wanted to ask if you wanted to talk about Miami after Black Compilled leaves, because we may have just like a little bit of an extra bumper time here. Or if
that was the episode I was just editing quick. No one was saying anything to me, so I'm like, yeah, I can probably get away with like editing the episode real quick for like 5 minutes, and like no one will notice.
Yeah, wait, hold on. One more 100 ARS, man. Seeing that 100 number, that really throws me off. They should really change that. Okay, so you described English education that was there to give knowledge. French education is tool to create nations out of nothing. That's how modern countries can take so many migrants. They are converted. I mean, look, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah, it came from the Prussian education system.
Yeah, Prussian. And again, it's not the best, but it was something. It was something in comparison to, well, what wasn't there before. Anyway, but I really appreciate the donation. Thank you so much for the 100 ARS. I hope we can get some people.
What the fuck is an ARS? Is that fake money?
Argentine.
It's a new coin.
Like fake money to
it's
me.
a new altcoin.
It's a new shit coin, yeah.
Shit sounds like it.
ARS.
Yeah, I don't know what to answer that, man, but I appreciate it, Nico. Thank you so much for the donation. Pretty soon, I hope we can have some people from, what was it? It was called Rhodesia back in the day, but now it isn't.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, yes. So maybe we can have some Zimbabwean dollars thrown our way. It'll be like, there'll be so many zeros.
It'll be like Monopoly money.
Exactly. It'll take up the entire screen.
It'll be like Canadian Tire money, but only Leafs get that reference.
Yes, indeed.
It's got the fucking Twin Peaks cut out. Like
always
gets me every time.
We still should do a Twin Peaks episode. So anyway, Black Compilled. I know that you gotta go, but I want.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta do another episode.
Go for the episode, and we're gonna talk to James Healy about Miami.
CRK, what you got to do is you just got to edit your episodes when you're on the stream. Like
on another show, yeah.
Oh my God.
The Virgin edits his episode by himself. The Chad is live on stream editing the episode, ignoring everyone else around him.
Oh my God.
Blackout drunk editing. Yeah.
Like it takes 5 minutes to edit the episode. I literally I up everyone's volumes, I cut the front, I cut the end, and then I make sure there's no ear rape in the fucking middle of the episode, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. That's the move. We have to re-record with Ghost Shell. Ghost Shell was on. I don't know if you guys know the Ghost Shell guys, but they were on, and Slav was missing, so we gotta Slav was baked and missed it, so we gotta redo it. But
I made a fake Pokemon named Ghost Shell when I was 12. It was like a shell, and inside of that shell there was a ghost. Of course you did, Lev. So it was a ghost. Of course I did. Of course.
Yo, honestly though, on God, I'm not even kidding. The vacation episode of Ghost Jail, episode 6, might be my favorite piece of art of the whole year. Like movies, video games.
I haven't heard it yet.
Everything.
What is the concept of Ghost Jail? I know it's
it's not even fair to call it it's not even fair to call it a podcast, because it's literally its own thing, which is like a combination of like vibey music with like a bunch of like stories or like weird like annotations or excerpts that people record and send in, and then Birdo and the crew fucking edit it together, and it's just like there's literally nothing else like it.
Oh, by the way, we have another comment from Nico. This time, 50 ARS. That's even less. Don't get so smug. Argentina used to be as wealthy as the USA. Right there, head to head. Then the 30s and the fascists happened. Goodbye, free market.
Also, right above that, Minotaur asks if I met Size Chad in Miami. Not only did I meet Size Chad, but he is my friend.
Oh.
Also, Size Chad told me that Women Posting Their L's is literally his favorite account, and he sends it to his non-Twitter friends every day, and that warmed my heart.
Nice.
And speaking of Argentina, shout out to our friend Lady Astor.
Yeah.
So
Oh, she's in
from
Argentina.
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's pretty
Yes.
nice. So, okay, I want to ask James about those glasses. So you have those sunglasses that you were wearing, and your profile verse has those sunglasses.
Yes.
What is going on with these sunglasses? Can you lay us in on the hidden on this cult that you're a part of now? What's going on?
If you know, you know.
Okay, does it require having crypto? Is that the thing?
No,
like you have to have a certain amount
they're
of
pit
crypto?
vipers. They're like they're fucking like 90s style fucking, you know.
Well,
Yes,
vaporware
but
kind
kind
of
but
of
having the
sunglasses.
glasses, it's not just about the glasses.
It's a crypto thing. Like all the fucking crypto
it
guys
gives
have
you access
fucking,
to a certain group
yeah, you know.
that I'm curious about now. What do I have to do?
It's like it's like the mark of the beast in a way, where it's like you have like, you know, the occult tattoos to know that you're part of them. With us, it's the fucking pit vipers.
Oh, and $10.
Use code Jamie for 10% off. Jamie, not James. It's my friend's code, so he gets the money.
$10 from Super Iron Bob. I demand that Geo take on the mantle and assume the mandate of heaven. An artist kingdom in North America cannot come soon enough.
It's true. We'll take over all of Western Canada and some of the states.
First, the Day of the Rake happens, and that's the destruction.
That's how we're gonna
of the
do it.
old.
We need warrior poets in our ranks. That's how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, imagine Geo like a samurai in samurai regalia with a big rake, just taking care.
What was
taking care
the
of
one?
business.
The image that Charles posted, where it's like a Western artist be like fixed it, and it's Fat Albert in the Berserk Guts uniform with the fucking sword. Oh, hilarious!
By the way,
Me and
where
James
are
bought
you
a
on
bunch of
Berserk?
I'm lagging. I gotta still.
Oh,
gotta catch
CRK
up.
already left. He didn't even say goodbye. Wow.
Well, thank you so much for CRK coming in here. But you were
good
reading
episode.
a chat over here about James buying what?
Actually, it's funny because I don't own any
Solana?
Solana, but yeah, that's mainly the thing. It's a lot of people that own Solana have the pit vipers. I'm only holding Ethereum and Phantom because I'm hardcore plan trusting on Phantom, and obviously I got to hold the fucking Ethereum. But literally, if I had any more money to invest, the third thing I'd be buying would be Solana. So,
So where do you think is the future of Bitcoin? Let's start with
We
that.
need Sigma males. We could have a Sigma male stream. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, Verse is unironically a Sigma male. I'm an Alpha Sigma. I'm a mix of both. I'm too extroverted to be an actual Sigma, but I have enough of the other Sigma qualities. Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin will get, if we're talking Bitcoin specifically, that's going to get flipped by Ethereum eventually one day. But I mean,
you really think Bitcoin like it's gonna get
Bitcoin's fucking
by...
useless. Bitcoin's a fucking dinosaur coin. It's only fucking 40 grand because it was the first coin. It served
but it's
no purpose.
The first. It's the brand.
Yeah, I know, and that's why Ethereum's gonna flip it eventually because everything runs on the Ethereum blockchain.
Well, this is great news for yours truly because I make digital cards, I make NFTs, and they use Ethereum. And I am coming up with Muskulls. You've seen Geo, right? Muskulls is almost done. It is coming along there, and I'm gonna take all the characters from Muskulls because they're already drawn. And I'm just going to paste them into individual cards and sell those for cheaper. So that's my strategy of making money on the blockchain. James, what do you think? Do you think that the NFT strategy is a good one, or do you think it's just going to crash and burn?
I have no clue with NFTs because I think the concept of an NFT is fucking retarded. And I don't know why anyone would want to own a digital fucking JPEG that no one else can. Like at that point, like just own like real art.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, but at the same time,
don't you want me to make money? Don't you want me to make money?
But
Len,
at the same
make real art.
But at the same time, the thing is like people are fucking autistic and they're like, yo, yeah, let me get this fucking digital thing that no one else can own.
A lot of rich people are autistic now because of Silicon Valley. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I can offer some other favors for the people who buy my NFTs. Maybe they can, I don't know.
Sexual favors.
Yeah, fill in the blanks, exactly. Maybe I can send them a photo of my feet. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever works. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to be ending this stream right now because it is pretty interesting to have a very short stream. We do not have enough of those. Things that people have complained about, not the length. People have complained that we have too many people on the stream, and I really enjoy when we don't have too many people on the stream.
Yeah,
so
it's getting to be like more. It's better that way. I hate to say it. With less people.
Ironically enough, though, I'm actually trying to do a fucking chaotic episode soon and have a bunch of fucking Bitcoin people. Oh, well, crypto.
Oh, Bitcoin
Twitter
people. Yeah,
people.
then that's.
Yeah. Because I want to do. So I just released. Go listen to it if you want to hear my whole Miami trip. It might take a couple. It's going to take a couple more minutes probably to finish processing, but it'll be on Spotify and all that stuff. Is Bitcoin Miami trip, the whole thing in detail. My whole experience is an hour and a half long. I just released it because I just fucking edited it while being on this stream right now. And post the Spotify link too, please. And so I want to try and do for next week's free episode, get a bunch of crypto Twitter people that were there to come on, have a big one that like break the rules style kind of fucking episode, and just have them all talk about their fucking experiences and stuff. So
yeah, well, people are already saying that the smaller the way too many people streams, these less people are better. Yeah, thanks for Streamlabs. Yeah, I mean, I think that less people are going to become the norm, but then we'll have a few times a month,
like the free for all Fridays and stuff.
Yeah, we have to get back to doing some more.
Maybe we're gonna have it this week. Look, here's the thing. I
don't know. I'm recording with someone this Friday, but maybe.
Oh shit, that's right. Okay, look, I have no idea what the fuck is happening on Thursday. I'll be honest with you guys, because we were supposed to have a reverse debate.
Maybe we'll have a free for all Thursday.
Maybe we'll have a 3-for-all Thursday BlackRock edition, because that's kind of the thing that's in the headlines right now.
BlackRock edition.
Thank you, Gio. That's going to be the title. I couldn't agree more. And then here is what else we are having down the line. And I think, James, you're going to be interested in some of these. We're going to have Bog Beef, Tuesday, June 22. Are you going to be around for that?
I have no clue who the fuck Bog Beef is.
So you will. Okay. Next, we have a lovely Polish lady named Tara Zepansky. Gio, I sent you her stuff, right?
Don't tell me
I didn't. Fuck, I'm going to send it to you right now because I keep forgetting.
Also, to cut in quick, Minotaur, if I do that episode, I will most likely have Size Chat on because I will be asking him. So,
hell yeah. And here we go. Here is Tara, by the way. Here is her Twitter. I'm posting it in the chat.
Size Queen, I love that.
Wait, oh no, that's not her.
I was about to say 17 followers, 4 tweets.
That's a different Tara. Hold on. Hold on.
Delete that.
Same name. Polish American. I'm not gonna delete it. Who the fuck cares?
Delete this.
Here we go. This is the one. Polish American Brotherhood. So more followers, right? The 9,184. And Tara Zepansky. She does a lot of web blogs and like live streams in New York City, catching all the action that's going on right now with all the craziness of White Boy Summer. Anyway, after her, we are going to have for the left stream on Sunday, June 27th, Stone Age Herbalist is coming in. So guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel as well.
And we gotta have a Juneteenth stream.
When's that?
It's Juneteenth. It's
What if instead it was called Juneteenth stream?
Well, if instead it was called Juneteenth stream, we have June. What about Jews?
Well, the person who created the concept.
After all,
you know what I could do for Juneteenth, which is the 19th, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Well, that's where the name came from, Lev.
That is the name came from. Anyway, that is okay. That's a Saturday. Shit, maybe I could do a Patreon episode where I walk around the Jewish neighborhoods.
We walk around Jewish neighborhood. We point out that it'd be like, that is Jew, that is not Jew, that is Jew, that is not Jew.
This is a good place, a good deli. You have a bagel sandwich.
Oh, this deli, they have the best Jewish meat you'll ever have besides my own schlock.
Yeah, Matcha said the 7-man philosophy chats with Davis Bard logo or Kino. Yeah,
my rabbi blessed himself.
Number 3.
Oh yeah, number 3 is definitely coming, and who knows who else we're gonna bring on for that one. And let's see what else.
Yeah, we keep adding new people every time that. But the core group of me, you, Bard, small follower, and Joel Davis that keeps.
Yes.
Oh, who am I? Oh, and we had Paul Town last time.
Paul
so that
Town,
was,
yes. And Tuesday,
that stream, by the way, that like just to tell you personally, Machas, I cried at the end of that stream. The first one was big, but the second one, I was literally, I was motivated to make a dry point etching of the stream. I'm going to release it soon. I was brought to tears after that stream. That was, to me, one of the hallmarks of Break the Rules, at least personally.
And I didn't even extract any of the shorts from that yet. I'm behind. I got to do more shorts.
Yeah,
anyway,
you have to, man.
Tuesday, June 29th, Styx Hexenhammer 666.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, yes. I'm very excited about that one. And that one's at
Squinty
11.
eyes.
That one's at 11 a.m., so you better wake up early for that one. Then we have Tuesday, July 6th. I have to confirm her just because it was so far away when we originally agreed. But Default Friend. Oh, that's a nice picture. And on the 7th day, got great. I couldn't agree more. So
that's true.
Yes, Default Friend, Tuesday, July 6th. And we are going to have Uncle Doomer, Thursday, July 8th.
Hell yeah.
There we go. Finally got one.
Nice.
There.
Dude, Doomer is, one, just awesome. He's one of my favorite mutuals. Good friend. Two, one of the best fucking posters of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the few people I'll just, every now and then I'll just go to his timeline and just fucking scroll through everything I've missed because his posts are just so good.
Excellent. And let's see who else. We are going to have Wilfred Riley coming in Thursday, August 5th. So for those who do not know who Wilfred Riley is, he is an American political scientist, and he wrote the book Hate Crime Hoax, How the Left is Selling a Fake Race War. And he also did a televised debate against alt-right personality Jared Taylor in 2016. So we are going to have him on. That should be a very exciting episode. And we also are going to have I think we're going to have Chad Hagg coming up Tuesday, August 10th. We're going to see. I got to confirm with him. And we are going to have Jason Giorgiani coming in Thursday, August 19th. We're going to talk about UFOs and a lot of other
we're going to get Chad Hagg. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
My favorite. Oh, when is that going to be?
Well, that should be August 10th, Tuesday, but I got to confirm.
I'm going to try my best to get into contact with Storm King for that one. I'm going to, maybe if you maybe reach out to Dogbot, we'll see what happens, because I know for a fact he'd want to be in that one. Then we got Jason Reza Giorgiani. By the way, shout out, because Giorgiani was recently interviewed again by him, Stark Truth Radio. I recently recorded my episode for the first time, hopefully not the last, with Stark Truth Radio, coming out this Friday, I've been told. So shout out to my good friend Robert Stark. Shout out to his co-host Matt Pagans. Oh my God, it was a blast. We talk about art, talk about the 2016, talk about architecture, the Bugmen. It's amazing. Oh, we talk about prison as well. Talk about wig splitting in that episode. So,
you know, why is it that when I look at the Stark Truth Radio thumbnail, although I'm not seeing it over here, but it reminds me of Terry Davis for some reason?
Well, I mean, they look kind of similar. I mean,
okay, good. So I'm not crazy. All right, James Healy. Any final promotions? Anything you want to?
Yes. If unless Lev lied to me, we're going to be doing the BTR MK Ultra Money episode soon in person. Yeah. If Lev gets his fucking ass over to my goddamn apartment like he said he's going to fucking do, and it will be me, Lev, Jules, and Arsene. So hopefully that happens soon, right, Lev?
Right.
Yeah. You're stuttering, but you better fucking pull through, or I'm gonna run up on you in fucking Coney Island, bitch. So that and
Coney Island 2012.
Yeah, Coney Island 2012.
Coney Island 2012.
You have to come soon for the episode, and if you're not at my birthday party, that's where I really get the 3D printer out loud. But yeah, right. So
I actually gotta run, guys. So we gotta cut.
All right,
so
James.
Yeah. Subscribe to MK Ultra Money, patreon.com/MK Ultra Money. Listen to the fucking Bitcoin Miami episode up now on Spotify. And if it's not up now, it'll be up in a couple of minutes.
Did you get to meet Tim Dillon?
No, I didn't.
Oh damn! I would. Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing if we get him on BTR. That'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon. We're working. Look, we're not going to be able to do this if you don't support us, but you are supporting us, and you need to support us much more so that we can grow. We
just got another $30 patron the other day.
Yes.
Please send more. I'm going to send him 2 prints just out of gratitude because we haven't had a lot of $30 patrons.
And guys, listen. Also, you have to keep in mind.
It's either like $5 or $50. I can't fucking believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You also okay. You also have to keep in mind that we are also on the audio platforms. I don't show the audio platforms enough, and I'm going to do it right now.
We are on Spotify.
Yes.
Even though I can't listen to it in Canada without paying.
Really?
Yeah, we don't have Spotify here unless you pay for it.
Damn. So, didn't even know that.
Oh, I just noticed I wasn't scrolling. Here we go. The Polish girls distracted me. So Spotify over here. That's the link. Okay, that's the link to James's Spotify, and that's the link to my Spotify to Break the Rules. And you could also follow us on iTunes. Please leave us a rating on iTunes. All the people who are watching this, here is the iTunes link.
Leave us a review.
Yeah, leave MK Ultra Money a ratings on iTunes too.
You're on
after
iTunes
all,
too, James.
Yeah, that was the first thing we
right.
started promoting until
wow.
I figured Spotify was better since everyone has Spotify. But I
Spotify
got review bombed at like beginning of May when the fucking OnlyFans girls tried to cancel me. So we have like a 2.4 on fucking on iTunes. But I will say the negative reviews did bring in a lot of viewers, so it worked in favor.
Based. Excellent.
There we go. Well,
so I guess the e-girls posted another L going after you.
That's right. All you girls can do is post L's. All right, the episode is definitely up right now. I just checked Spotify. Bitcoin Miami trip. It's up.
Yes, it's up on iTunes as well. I'm seeing it right here, and I'm posting it. Right
iTunes
over
actually
here.
got the notification for this one. I just saw. So it's a great episode. You'll hear all about the trip. It was a wild trip. So
yeah, and it is currently 2.5 stars.
Oh, we went up 0.1. Let's go.
Yeah, 190 ratings.
Lev, go leave a fucking 5-star review right now.
I don't have an Apple
the
product.
Good roasts, yeah.
See, that's why I shill the Spotify because there's fucking losers like you that are on fucking Android. It smells like broken here.
No, okay, now I think we've shilled all their Geo's channel, and then we're
I have to put out another painting video, but I'm going to record a podcast with a good friend of mine on video art and hopefully Y2K aesthetic stuff with my
hell
good,
yeah
with my
good
friend.
I love a Y2K aesthetic.
Oh yeah man, we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Hopefully more. I mean, she's kind of weary because she's got some IRL stuff that to do with it, but I'm having my good friend on first interview for my own personal channel with Impossible Princess on Twitter. You could find her stuff at Impossible Princess.
You're telling me this princess is impossible? Like why? Why is it impossible? Is she trans or something?
Yeah. I think her handle is at Pink Pill.
She's an impossible princess, just like you have the Impossible Burger.
Yeah. Oh god. No. Anyways, I gotta go, fellas. So this is the end of the stream.
This is the end of the stream officially. It ended up working out like this short time. You gotta go, and we all have to go. This is perfect. A nice short stream for all the good people. Patreon.com/breaktherules.
Patreon.com/MKUltraMoney.
And why is it that I'm not seeing subscribers over here? All you people who have not subscribe right now. I'm going to screenshot.
You're getting the rope if you don't subscribe. I'm getting the 3D printer, and you think it's a joke, and it is a joke if the feds are listening.
Yes, and the rope is to decorate, right? Like, what do you use a rope?
Yeah. Sure.
You know what it is? It's a rope of sausages. That's what it is. It's links, sausage links.
Yeah, the hot links.
Yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, guys, subscribe. Patreon.com/breaktherules. You know it, you love it. A lot of awards. I don't need to mention them here. You guys are gonna get a lot of great stuff. Definitely legit. The magnet, definitely legit over here. Arf, 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 arf. Bark, bark, bark. Definitely legit. Get definitely legit. Anyway, guys, this is the
$30 patron. Get a print from the Left Field No GF series.
That's right.
God bless. Goodbye. Oh, well, you say then I say it. So yeah.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.